Hey everyone, Michaela with LearnWire here, and today we are going to go over Amwork. Now, Amwork is a program that will let you manage your CRM, projects, tasks, sales pipeline, and more on this all-in-one, easy-to-use platform. Now, Amwork is best going to be used by C-suite users, service as a sale users, and small businesses, and it's going to be a great alternative to Asana, HubSpot, CRM, and Pipedrive. Amwork has an average rating of 4 tacos across 4 reviews, and it was founded by Oliver Grand. Looking at the questions, it looks like Oliver is super responsive to questions, and looks like he responds to most of the reviews as well. Now, there are 5 different licensing tiers that you can choose from. Tier 1 at $59 includes all available features. You get 1 user and get up to 5 gigs total in storage. License Tier 2 at $119 includes all available features. You get 5 users and you can have up to 25 gigs total in storage. License Tier 3 at $199 includes all available features. You can have up to 15 users and up to 75 gigs total in storage. License Tier 4 at $299 includes all available features. You can have up to 30 users and up to 150 gigs total in storage. And finally, License Tier 5 at $549 includes all available features. You get up to 50 users and up to 250 gigs total in storage. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look. Okay, so this is the Amwork Space Builder. Right away, we can see a bunch of different modules that we can create. We have the CRM, projects and tasks, production, inventory management, lease management, appointment scheduling, suppliers, contractors, hiring, contacts, companies, a universal module, partners, financial management, BPM automation and orchestration, and marketing management. We can also configure our modules. We have the PBX telephony, an email service, a multi-messenger, document generation, web forms, and a website chat. Now, these are essentially each going to be just like a basic template for what you want to use. If you want to use contacts, this is going to be a great template for contacts. If you want to keep track of your production, this is going to be a great way for you to track your production. Or if you're not sure what you want or you just want to build it from the ground up yourself, you can just do this universal module. So let's go ahead and we'll do the projects and tasks. So we'll create a new module. Now here we can name our module right here. So I will call this one new module, and we can choose an icon for the left sidebar. Now there are plenty of different icons for you to choose from. I'm just gonna go ahead and keep this little light bulb icon right here. And then next, we can also choose what kind of displays that we want. We can have a board display, we can have a list display, or we can have both, and we'll be able to toggle between these 2 views as we view this workspace. We'll go ahead, hit next. Next, we can create the name of the card. So I'll just call this one card name. And then we can add the different columns to our cards. So we have the value, participants, the start date, end date, the description, and we can also create new fields for our card. These little sections right here are going to be the different columns for your fields, and then these are going to be different aspects that you can assign. So we can have the field name, we can have a text input, we can have a date, a link, a phone number, an email address, a value, a select box, a switch, a number, a formula, a multi-text, a multi-select, the participants, and a colored sheet, and a colored multi-select. Now these are going to be the fields that appear on your little cards. I'm just going to call this one field name and hit next. Next, we can add our functionality to the cards, so we can add activities, tasks, notes, chat, files, and we can create documents. I'm just going to go ahead and check all of these. And finally, we can link this module to other modules that have already been created. So we have the sales pipeline, customer contacts, contractor contacts, candidate contacts, customer companies, contractor companies, projects, contractors, hiring, CRM, and contractors. So I'm going to go ahead and just check all of these. We can also select any products that we want to add to our workspace. And if we have any schedulers available, we can also link those. I currently don't have any. So I'm just going to hit save. And this is our board. This one doesn't have a lot of information, so I'm going to go ahead and just switch up to this tasks and activities. Our board right here is pretty plain, so I'm going to go ahead and switch up to one of the other boards. Let's go ahead and do this sales pipeline. So here we can see all of the companies that we are currently speaking to about the different contracts. And we have our headers up here so we can drag and drop our little cards into whatever category that they best belong to. So say that Bang & Olufsen, they have agreed to work with us. I can move this over here, and it is here under the agreed signed little category. Now, if we want to add a new card to our board, we can just hit this little green plus up in the corner that says add. We can fill out all of the details right here. We have our deal number, we have the owner, the value of the deal, the source of the lead, any participants. We can add a customer contact, we can add a customer company, we can add a project, or add a card name. We can also add any notes, any activities right here, any tasks, and within that task we can add a new title, we can add an estimated completion time, we can assign who this task is going to go to, we can select which board we want it to go to, we can select a start date and an end date, a description, and add any subtasks right down here. We can also upload any documents, and we can create a chat with our team so we can all discuss this deal right here. We can also close out this deal if we won it or if we lost it. Now on our board, we can also choose how we want to view it. We can look at it as a board. We can look at it as a list right here. We can look at it as if it's a dashboard, so we can see our sales goals, any traffic, the top 5 contributing sales leaders. We can see the total leads, any new leads, any won leads, lost leads. We can see the total tasks. We can see how many leads have no tasks, how many tasks have been completed, how many tasks have expired, the total activities, how many leads have no activities, the completed activities, and any expired activities. We can also see the rating of each employee. We can also take a look at the lead status overview as kind of a bar graph. And we can also see the conversion pipelines so we can see how our leads match up here. We can also see it as a report. And if we want to add in any automation, we can do so right here. Now, the cool thing about Amwork is that if you have multiple boards under the same type of framework, then it'll group them all together. So you're not going to have a big old list of icons down here on the side with every single board that you've created. If we go to, say, this contacts board, then we can see here using this drop-down menu that we have customer contacts, we have contractor contacts, and we have candidate contacts. So it kind of groups all of the contacts together in one easy-to-access place. Now, each of these different types of boards is going to have their own unique types of views. For example, if we go back up to the sales pipeline, we have this list and we have this dashboard view and we have this reports view. But if we go down to our contacts, you'll see we don't have those views right here. Same with the companies. Now, if we go to projects, we do have the reports, but we don't have that dashboard. So each type of board is going to kind of have its own look and its own view. And I would highly recommend that you play around with them and kind of see how everything works. Now, if we go down here, if we go down to the email and messenger, this is kind of going to be an all-in-one place for you to see all of your emails. You have your basic inbox, you have your sent emails, your trash emails, anything marked as spam, and any of your drafted emails. If we want to make a new message, we can go ahead and just hit this new message, and it's just like a typical email in Outlook or Gmail. You can type to or from the subject and then add your message, and you can add a signature right there. We can also view all of our multi-messengers. So this is kind of going to be all of your live chats across all of your different workspaces, all in one easy-to-access place. Finally, we have our general settings. This is going to be where you can change all of your settings. We have our company name, our domain name. We can upload a new logo. We can set our language, our working days, our working times, our time zone, our currency, our phone format. We can enable contact duplicates. We can set our module settings. We can configure all of our users, all of our groups. We can configure our email settings. We can set up our account settings. We can connect with telephony right here. We have our integrations. We have our billing. We can set up any document templates right here, and we can set any documentation creation fields right here as well. And yeah, so that is Amwork. I would probably give Amwork maybe a 3.7. It doesn't really introduce anything new. There's a lot of platforms that have this same type of thing. You know, we have Trello, we've got Jira, Monday. They're going to all kind of do the same thing. The only thing I'd say is kind of different is that it really kind of gives you a lot of different templates that you can use. You're not having to do it all on your own. This will kind of do it for you. Additionally, when I was building some of our modules, there was when hovering over some of the question marks, it didn't really say what it was. So for example, I'm going to go back into, so if we go into projects and tasks, if we hover over name the module, then we hit next. If we hover over name on the card, it just says name of the card. It doesn't really explain what the card is or what the function of the card is. It's just like, oh yeah, you can name your card, which we can infer from name the card. So I do wish that some of these information bubbles were a little more explanatory on what exactly the card is. The current information left a little bit to be desired. But, I mean, other than those complaints and the fact that there's no dark mode, really, it works well. There's no major bugs. There's nothing that completely breaks it or prevents me from doing anything. Everything just kind of works the way it's supposed to, which is fantastic. Additionally, I do like that it does group modules created under the same kind of template together so that, you know, this left-hand sidebar isn't just like full of different icons and you have to scroll and go through each one. It's just, oh, you know, I want to see my contacts. We can go to this little contacts icon and I can go from here and select exactly which contact I want to take a look at. Now, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please feel free to put them in the comment section below. Until next time, I will see you later. Goodbye.